everyone, how are you? Glad to be back. And today it was official. Liga MX, there's no more promotion and relegation in Mexico. And of course, all of that is gearing up to what eventually is about to happen in terms of their fusion with Major League Soccer. That's one of the things that's being planned in the coming seasons, in the coming years. Of course, things got thrown a little bit, for a loop when this coronavirus came through, but the plans were, and in a way, it was kind of a perfect storm because if you look at how the Ascenso ended, no champion, the season was called off. The Liga MX campaign has not been called off as of yet, but you had the perfect excuse. You had the perfect reason to stop the campaign, and of course, there's no more. Like I said, no champion this time around, and no team that will be promoted, and no team that will be relegated for that matter. So things were going in that direction. Of course, things were being talked about the moment that the U.S., Mexico, and Canada were announced as World Cup venues for 2026 World Cup. You started to see that Major League Soccer and Liga MX, and then you start to see a little bit more when they start doing the leagues, cups, all those types of competitions that were being done. That's when you started to see these types of moves being made, especially on the Major League Soccer side. So do not be surprised if you start to hear more of that fusion come to play. It will be very important to look at. But from another perspective, it's going to be important to see not just what happens in Mexican football in terms of development, because Mexico now has their developmental league, kind of similar if you look at it from a perspective, because Liga MX is pretty much taking it over than what Major League Soccer has decided to do in terms of their specific modus operandi in terms of development. So there's a lot of people that are going to be left out in the cold. And I'm not talking about just coaches, and there'll be a lot of young players that are going to be unseen. The pool of players that are going to have a chance to get to the first division, it's shrunk significantly, especially in Mexico because of that of Liga MX being a closed shop. So keep that in mind. That's something that's not being talked about here in the United States, and it needs to be talked about more because it's something that is going to have an impact in the medium to long term. So I hope that we see how that particular change comes to be. So make sure that you guys, I'll be coming in every so often to talk about certain topics. I'll be looking to give my opinion and maybe inform a little bit more in terms of what's going on in the world of football. So make sure you're subscribing, make sure that you're giving a thumbs up, make sure you're doing that thing, all the YouTube-y thingies that you're supposed to be doing. Make sure you do that. I hope that you're having a great week, and I hope you have a tremendous weekend to come. Talk to you soon. Ciao.